We're glad to have you back. Yes, this is still Business Nigeria. The current state of Nigeria's furniture industry is a mix of challenges and opportunities influenced significantly by cost of production, amongst others. Now, according to Africa's Business Report, the industry, which is valued at $5 billion, that's in 2023, faces bottlenecks such as skill shortages, high operational costs due to fuel subsidy removal, deficiencies in the technology and finance, and lack of qualified manpower. Despite these hurdles, the outlook remains positive, with local furniture makers showing resilience and growth potential. Let's get talking now, and I'm being joined live in the studio, founder, CEO, RMDS Retails, Ms. Rosemary Ioma. How are you? And it's good to have you on the program.
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great. It's good to have entrepreneurs like you, like we discussed behind the scene. But let's get to business and say, let's look at the industry itself. How has the furniture industry, by scaling importation policies and embargo, all these importation issues and the embargo on it, how has it affected the industry?
It has affected the furniture industry in Nigeria hugely because at the stage that we are right now, a lot of our raw materials are imported. So when these when these embargoes are placed on raw materials, it has a direct effect on increasing cost of production, which causes an increase in the finished product, which is the furniture. So it has the embargoes hugely affect cost of production.
Before I go to my next question, I'd like you to tell us 2-3 minutes about how the journey has been. Just give us an overview. Yes, I know there'll be a lot, but just give us an overview, because it's interesting to let Nigerians hear from people like you that there is still hope in our entrepreneurial space.
Okay, the journey, to be honest, I don't want to be all negative because it hasn't been an easy journey, but yes, it's been an interesting journey, I would say, because doing business in Nigeria, more so production, business in Nigeria is not easy at all. We face different problems from different sides. There's the side of raw materials, there's the electricity side, lack of electricity, there's the side of, skilled artisans. So I've been in this industry for at least 7-8 years, and I have faced different
It's beautiful pictures we have here of furniture. So
it has been an interesting journey.
Honestly,
yes.
But do you think that this embargoes and all is to help promote in-country production of purchases? Do you think?
Yes, I feel like the federal government imposes these embargoes to aid local production and consumption. But like I tell people around me, I feel like several steps are skipped. It's like skipping step 1 to move to step 10 even. Wow. Yeah, it's like you're trying to encourage local production, but policies haven't been put in place to encourage this production. What do I mean? For example, you're trying to encourage manufacturers like us to produce locally, but we do not have steady power supply. Policies haven't been put in place to, foster power supply, and then funding loan. I was about to get it. Loans are hardly accessible. We don't have access to loans. I mean, you go to your bank that you've been banking with for years, they have your financial records, they see your inflows and your outflows, they put you through this rigorous process, yet after that they still feel like you don't qualify to be giving these loans. And then the interest rates on these loans are too high, and then you find yourself having to go to family or friends or private owned loan companies which have even higher interest rates. So with all these, it discourages local production.
I can imagine when you cannot even source funding, and everyone is like someone would on a lighter note. They'll say they can say you should go and get your my father and my mother's marriage certificate for them to give me a loan.
No, the process is rigorous.
I get that really.
I'm very discouraged.
Yeah, that is it. It will be, of course. But let's look at materials, relevant materials, and how affordable they are. What would you say government can do, or the private sector, to address this issue of materials, raw materials, and all of it?
I'll just state a few for the sake of time. Number one, to me, the greatest problem we have in production is electricity. Government needs to find a way to stabilize electricity. I mean, and then funding, like we said, loans need to be more accessible so that production companies like us can, scale. There's no major difference between the made in Nigeria furniture and the made in Turkey or made in Italy furniture that we admire so much. It's just machinery, and these machines can be quite expensive. So when we have access to these loans, we can purchase these machines that enable us to get this better finished furniture.
Yeah.
So I would have gone into subsidy as well for government.
We have some time.
For government to
feel free to conversation.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy it.
Okay. Government also needs to subsidize cost of production for manufacturers. So the three major ways I would say government needs to come in is with electricity. Electricity needs to be stabilized. Loans need to be more accessible, and then cost of production needs to be subsidized.
Now, let's look at passion and profit here now, because I used to ask one question. When you say things are too expensive, so how do we get the best of it and we still make profit? What cost-saving measures have you been also trying to apply?
Oh, passion and profit. There are two elements that are very hard to align, but you have to find a middle ground. So I don't like to compromise on quality, even if the prices are skyrocketing every day. I love to maintain a standard. But a cost-saving method that I know that I apply is that I don't mass produce.
All right, now we need to take a break. When we come back, we'll be live on all platforms. This is Business Nigeria.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and governments to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
Albert Chinua Lumogu Achebe was born November 16, 1930 in Ogidi, Nigeria. He went to Government College in Umuahia, Nigeria. In 1948, Achebe won a scholarship to the University of Ibadan to study medicine, but after a year, he changed his major to writing. After graduation in 1953, he became a script writer for the Nigerian Broadcasting Service (NBS), eventually becoming the head programmer for the discussion series. In 1956, he visited London for the first time to take a training course with the BBC. On returning, he moved to Enugu and edited and produced stories for the NBS. Achebe was unhappy with books about Africa written by British authors such as Joseph Conrad and John.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. Yes, we are still talking, and I have Rosemary Ihoma, who's the founder, CEO of RMDS Retail, making sense of the furniture industry, of course, challenges and prospects of that industry. And now, the challenges of sourcing machinery, for instance, can it be solved by... Let me ask that question this way. How do you think government can help solve issues of, say, machinery, raw materials to support this business? You cannot say you want small businesses to thrive and you introduce another policy that holds them. We cannot clap with one hand. What straight things do you think maybe government, maybe customs need to understand about your business?
Yes. So machinery is a huge factor. It plays a huge role in our production. So bringing in, importing these machines are actually expensive, right? So we need to find a way to either produce these machines locally, yes, because we have the skills, we have the people who do it, they don't have two heads. The talent did not fall from the sky. So we can do it. We only have some issues stopping us from achieving this goal, like import duties and so many other factors. So either we produce these machines locally or importing it since it's already produced. Importing it, policies need to be put in place to be able to ensure that, machines can be brought in and then to help with production.
Many will say entrepreneurs complain, oh, we don't have funding, we don't do, but they still break even at times. How do you manage to weather the storm of all of these challenges?
Yeah.
How has it been?
You have to break even. You have to make profit at least. I mean, that's the reason why you started the business.
Yes. Because sometimes, sorry to interject you again, because sometimes you look at, I've put in how many years in this.
Exactly.
Are you sure I want to continue doing this?
Exactly.
Does it come to you sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
It does, because it can get very, very stressful. It can get very stressful. And then doing something over and over again, yet it's even getting more difficult sometimes to produce. I mean, if you look back at what you used, like maybe sourcing, or let me say quality of even products, right, is dropping by day. Let me say if you bought fabric as early as 2020 and you try to buy the same fabric again, you can visibly see like the quality has dropped. So it gets very difficult. But like I said earlier, I don't like to compromise on on quality. Yes. So the major thing I do in order to minimize cost and maximize like profit is that I don't mass produce.
Oh.
Yes, I don't mass produce and keep. Is a made to order
like
type.
Orders? Oh, they place orders than you now.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Which also affects the business because a lot of
projections, and at the end of the day, when you get to the market,
exactly, and then a lot of customers to want to see the furniture they like and go home with it, or at least have you deliver it tomorrow. So when you tell them production time is 10 days, 12 days, they lose interest. But I don't back down on this. It's a way it covers. It helps to minimize errors and maximize profit. So I don't mass produce. That's one way I use to save cost in production, in my production.
Really commendable. What are foreseeable challenges? I had a chat earlier with the commissioner and she was talking about artisanal capacities in some places. Do you have that also in the furniture industry? Is it so easy to access artisans? I know of some jobs now that Nigerians have to go outside the country to get workers. How has it been with furniture?
Yeah, with furniture, it's a similar problem. We have the skilled people, but accessing them is a problem because most of the time there's this thing in Nigeria that people want to work for themselves. So since these people are skilled, like the carpenters, the upholsterers, the sprayers, even welders, because I deal with a lot of metal work, they like to work for themselves. You can hardly find, or they leave very easily. Even if you employ someone as your in-house, like upholsterer or carpenter, they don't, and then they learn under you. By the time they figure out that they've learned, so much to do it on their own, they feel like they can go start doing it by themselves. So keep hiring artisans, yes, is a huge problem. We have skilled artisans. That's not a problem. Finding skilled artisans is not a problem. It's just keeping
local ones, indigenous ones.
Yes, it's not a problem. Just keeping them in-house, hiring them. You always have to keep hiring and rehiring, which slows down production.
I think I get that. You're correct because you sometimes even pay according to what they do.
Exactly. So it slows down production. Like, you can work with someone on Friday, and by Monday, he will tell you he's in another state. You're like, excuse me, yes. And then you have to, and then it's not even like the white collar jobs where you can put up a post that you're hiring, a manager. True. You can't put up the post anywhere. So you have to start again, start asking, and then you might even ask and find, but the person is not as skilled as you want. So you have to start teaching the person from the beginning again. So it's not an easy process at all.
I wish to see you at work.
You should come around.
I will. But you made a Nigeria brand, of course, at this time. It looks like, it sounds brave, and you sound brave too. What would you tell young Nigerians that want to get into this? Maybe I could add that. What prompted you? Furniture. I'm just thinking, I don't know. What was that thing that prompted you into it? And what would you say to young ones that might be interested in this so that they can just say, wow, I'm encouraged with what I've seen and I would also get into this?
Okay, let me start with the first question. What prompted me?
Yeah.
And what prompted me to get into furniture and made in Nigeria furniture? I started off as an interior design firm. Okay. Yes, with made in Nigeria products. I didn't import. And so clients will see this. Some would even ask me, like, is this imported? Because of the way I pay attention to, the finishing and the quality and all that. Yeah. So, and then, aside that, I love made in Nigeria. I consume a lot of made in Nigeria content, from movies to product. Like, I love Nigeria. That's why I'm even that's why I'm still in Nigeria. A lot of people ask me what I used to do in Nigeria. Most of my friends are left, but I'm still in Nigeria because I genuinely love Nigeria. Good. So marrying the two, I love furniture, I love made in Nigeria. That's how I found myself here. Wow. And what I would say to people, colleagues that are in the production industries, just keep producing, right? Because I know as of now, made in Nigeria, the made in Nigeria slogan is a bit looked down on because, it's a bit looked down on, but keep producing. And we only hope that one day made in Nigeria statements will not be a statement to be looked down on, but to become a statement.
That's the only way we can grow our naira.
Exactly.
Because you see what is happening with FX now. If we are doing business, if you're selling, you're going to is in naira, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Not in dollars.
No, everything is in naira.
That's a good one. So let's see. Where do you see yourself in a few years? Your business.
In a few years, I want to have the largest factory in Nigeria. I want to be a household name. I want people to be able to come into the showroom, pick up what they want and go home. Yes, I want to. This is where I see RMGS retail in a few short years from now.
Honestly, it's been really interesting talking to you, and nice having you. We'll keep a tab, we'll keep monitoring, and let us know so that, for me, I also am a made in Nigeria person. My suit is made here.
Oh, lovely.
But what the challenge I used to have before now is finishing, which you mentioned, and standards. We should have our goods everywhere, every shelf across the world, across the country, and see our furnitures and stuff. So I think all manufacturers need to pay attention to finishing and standards. What do you think?
Yes, it's two things. The person has to pay attention, and then there are also machines, like I told you, that we don't have access to ensure these finishes. So, like in case of your suit, the person probably needs a particular type of sewing machine to ensure that the edges are correctly. So, and if they get loans from financial,
they can.
Yes, exactly. They can buy these machines. Hire better skilled tailors. So it's like the clothing industry and the furniture industry. They are not so far off. So we'll share similar problems. We'll share some. So it's in case of loans and funding, that's one major problem that causes all this.
Rosemary Yoma, thank you so much for your time. Founder, CEO, RMDS Retail. We hope to see you soon again.
Thank you.
All right then, great conversation. Let's take a break. When we come